Yeah, we have another question. Let me just put aside my calculator. Yeah, so how do we evaluate composite functions? So we have composite functions. So basically, I used to do this when I was in my high school. I had these kind of questions. So let's just see what the answer written here is. In math, we have special formulas called functions that tell us an answer when we plug in a specific number. Okay. However, we can put functions together so that one function gives us a different answer depending on the answer to another. Composite function use the output of one function as an input of another. This is like a function within a function. So correct, yeah, correct definition. So let f, yeah, okay. So in a composite function, we can say, so what, yeah. Suppose we have a function which, let's say f of x. We'll take the same example as it is written here. So yeah, so suppose we take an example, let's say f of x, which is equals to 3x, and we have another example which is g of x, it is x square. So let's say if I plug in a number, let's say x equal to 1, so f of 1 equals to 3 into 1. So in the place of x, we just put x equal to 1. It will give 3. In the similar fashion, g of 1 is 1 square, which is 1 only. So whenever we get a function like f of x, uh, like function in one variable, function of two variables also, f of x and y, we have like functions can be in n number of variables, but for simplicity let's just keep it at one only. So suppose if whenever we have a function like f of x or g of x, so it is a relation, or you can say it is a relation between x and f of x. So whatever values we put in, the values we put in the x, we get the corresponding relation as f of x. Sometimes we also, for simplicity, we write like this as y. So in we just say y equal to 3x. This is the equation of, like we usually see this kind of equation when we do the uh, what we say that plotting, and when we deal with geometry we see such kind of equations. So we usually write this as y equal to 3x, but here we write for in when we are dealing with functions, to emphasize that function thing, we write f of x and we write g of x. We can also write one more function as h of x, which can be, let's say, 2x. Yeah. So as you have seen, when I put x equals to 1, then I get f of 1, which is 3. I get g of 1, which is 1. And let's write this also. H of 1 will be 2 into 1. That is 2. Yeah. So if I can put a number in the input of the function as x, I can also put a function as the input. So suppose if I write x equal to g of x. So if I write like this, then my f of x will be f of, I will write this value, in the case here we wrote 1, so I'll as because x was 1 here, but now x is equals to g of x, so we will write here g of x. Now what does this mean actually? What we have to do in the RHS side, because this was only for LHS. So for RHS, what we will do, here we had x equal to 1, so we put 3 into 1. So again, here we will write 3 into, now here x is g of x. Now let's say what is g of x. So g of x is x square. So I will write x as x square, because in this case my input is g of x. G of x is basically x square only. So indirectly, for simplicity, usually we don't write in this way, so just don't write ever in this way. I can write this as f of x square. Yeah, f of x square also. Well, this f of x square is whole lot a different function, and f of g of x is also a different function. Here I forgot to write one bracket also. I can also write as f of x square. So here again I will write 3 into x. X is here x square, so I will write x square. This is just for explaining. Don't ever write in this way. Like, it is not prohibited to write in this way, but yeah, don't write. If we are talking about composite functions, we usually write in this way only, f of g of x, and this will be equal to 3x square. So for simplicity also, instead of writing f of g of x, we write it as, and I also used to say this in during my school times, so we also write this as fog of x. Yeah, so we also write it as fog of x, which is basically f of g of x. Let's just see. Yeah, so here you can see the answer. It is written as f of x square, so I can write this as f of x square, which is equals to 3x square. In the similar fashion, I can also write this for, let's choose a different color. Let us write with green. Now, as I have written for f of g of x, let's write it for g of f of x. So g of f of x, let's see what our g of x was x square. So when we put 1 here, we wrote it as 1 square. Now our x is basically f of x. So f of x is 3. So first we will write f of x 3x, and then we'll square it, because our g of x is basically x square. So x equals to 3x. So in this case, we write the g of f of x equals to 3x, and we can always write this as 9x square. Let's see in the solution. Yeah, the solution is written correctly. So as again I told for this as fog of x, here we write, I used to say this as gof of x. So it's your choice if you want to say it as gof or fog. You can also say this as g of f of x. So this is basically what the senior tutor or junior tutor has written, 3x square, which is 9x square. We can also do the same thing for h of f of x and h of g of x. So I'm not going into each and every detail. So let's choose black color. So I'll just write it directly. So half or h of f of x is going to be, what is my h of x? It is 2 into x, and x is 3x, so it will be 2 into 3 into x. Where's my pen? Yeah, so it will be 2 into 3x will be 6x. Similarly, my h of g or hog of g equals to, g was x square, so it will be 2x square. 2 into g of x was x square, it will be 2x square. Yeah, I forgot to put the question number, so this is question number 2. This was question number 1. So the answer mentioned here is correct. So I'll just write it as correct answer. Great job. Solution is correct.